Alright, Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to Prof. Latif. And basically, I am recording this video presentation regarding to the research article summary and critics for DCE3411 Community Resource Development. So, my name is Muhammad Amirul Hadi bin Amir Bahtar and my mention number is 198854. So, as you can see in this video presentation, the title of my article is Community as Stakeholder of the Corporate Social Responsibility Program in Malaysia, Outcomes in Community Development. So let's go to the next slide. So basically, regarding to the article, what can I say about it is whereby I divide the presentation today into 4 parts, and one part is about the critics. So basically, let's go into deeper regarding to the contents for this article. So basically, the purpose of the article, the part 1. So basically, the article is done by 3 main researchers, which are Dr. Nurmi alias Prof. Dr. Rozia and also Professor Maimunah. And also, let's go into deeper regarding to the purpose of the research. Basically, the purpose of this research is to investigate the outcomes of a corporate social responsibility (CSR) program in community development from the perspective of its Malaysian participants. And articles also focuses on the profiles of CSR program participants in community development, the profiles of selected CSR participating corporations, the orientation of CSR responsibilities undertaken by corporation as perceived by participants, and the types of community development contribution from CSR participating corporations. So that is the main purpose of this article. So let's go to the research limitation part, whereby the limitation that I found regarding to this article is that it fills a gap in literature on Malaysian community CSR, and it's specifically from the perspective of the community, which is an important stakeholder. This study also adds the limited literature on CSR in Malaysia by examining how Malaysian businesses contribute to community development through CSR. From this study, the finding should be beneficial to community development practitioners, CSR providers, and also researchers. That's the limitation for this research. So, in regards to the design method, based on the article is based on the stakeholder theory and also business CSR pyramid work. This article actually investigates the outcomes of CSR as a result of community participation using the two main theory and also method, which is stakeholder theory and also business CSR pyramid work. And the data from this research were gathered from 336 respondents who participated in CSR programs from 58 Malaysian local and multinational corporations in Malaysia, basically. As we all know, basically, this article is focusing on Malaysian CSR. So basically, the place that the research conduct is basically in our country. So let's go to the next slide, which is the findings of this research. So, in regards to the findings, actually, roughly half of the respondents were under the age of 40, with a mean age of 24.40 years. The majority of CSR participating corporations had CSR programs in place since the first decade of the millennium and had core businesses in a variety of industries. And other than that, the research also tells us that legal responsibility was ranked as the most important orientation, while ethical responsibility was ranked as the least important. The most common type of CSR contribution was education-related activities. That's the findings that we can get from this article done by the researchers. The next slide, whereby we will go into deeper regarding to literature's critics. Before this, I touched about the some parts of the article. So now let's proceed to the literature's critic that I can suggest to this article. So let's go one by one. So for the first part is the type of research. So basically the type of research for this article is actually the article is done in a quantitative research design, whereby it was used to describe the study in regards to the CSR. Sorry, to the next step, which is the problem. So basically, the problem that actually the main key, the problem is whereby the research clearly define the problem that I can say actually. And the research questions and objectives formulated were formulated. And the problem was logically deduced from theory by researchers. Sorry for the what you call it, the wrong spelling for the formulated. Actually, research question and objective formulated. Actually, it should be research questions and objectives were formulated. Okay, to the next slide. Okay, basically, in this study today we can understand and we can know that the IV used is the profiles of participants of CSR programs in community development, the profiles of selected CSR participating corporations, the orientation of CSR responsibilities undertaken by corporation as the perceived by the participant, and the types of community development contribution from CSR participating corporation as independent variable. So we can see that in this article, there are some IV that are used by the researchers. So for the DV, the researchers use the outcome of a corporate social responsibility (CSR) program in community development from the perspective of its participant in Malaysia. That is the DV, the dependent variable. So let's go to the literature review. What can I critique about the literature review is that literature review uh, gives us the adequate, up to date, and it is critically done, and it is very selective too. And the background of the studies are also sufficient and very clear. And for the design, uh, absolutely we understand from before that this article use the work of research CSR pyramid as the research design to meet the stated objectives. And basically the population study was clearly defined. The study gathered from 336 respondents who were participants of CSR programs, sampled from 58 local and multinational corporations in Malaysia. And the simple random sampling technique was used to obtain a sample of the families and individuals. So basically, to get a sample of the families and individuals, the researchers used the simple random sampling technique. And the alpha level that was specified are 5% error in precision and 95% confidence level. Okay, now let's go into deeper regarding to the procedure. So the critics regarding to the procedure is that it focuses on the data collection methods are described so that other researchers can replicate for their own research, because there is research to contribute to the scarce literature on CSR in Asia. So basically, we can understand, we can know that actually CSR article regarding to CSR in Malaysia are not, there are not many articles. There are not research. There are not many researchers that research that are done regarding CSR. So basically, by doing this kind of research, the researchers can help providing other researchers to come up with a new article regarding CSR, and the size and characteristic of the sample they are described described adequately based on the sample population of this exploratory study comprised randomly selected beneficiaries of CSR programs in Malaysia. And now let's go to the measurement and the interpretation. So basically, the research, uh, uh, the measurement and interpretation for this research. So the critics that I can suggest is that actually to show a reliability, the initial sample size of the study was 285. So basically, in showing reliability, the researchers used Rosa 2004 and Cringy and Morgan 1970 procedure. And to get the initial sample size of 385. So the conclusion were consistent with obtained result because the result of finding for this study was summarized back in the conclusions part, and the general generalization were confined to the population from which the sample was drawn. Sorry for the wrong cap now. So to the last part for the critic is the general. So basically, in my opinion, based on my understanding, the research done is very significant and is very important to the other researchers in sharing more knowledge because this type of research in Malaysia will analyze the way business we analyze the way business organization or organizations in country contribute to the community development through CSR and how can it contribute to the SCAR's literature on CSR. All right, I think that's all for my presentation. So basically, uh, for this presentation, it is just a mingle part of my literature and also the critics regarding the article. So if after this, if Prof want to go into more deeper regarding the article, Prof can go to my go to my uh, one file that I share, which is the document the words. So basically, in that words, Prof can identify a little bit into and more details critics. So basically, this presentation is just a simple presentation regarding to the articles and critics about it. So that's all from me. I hope uh, Prof will always stay healthy with family, and I think that's all from me. Thank you again, and Assalamualaikum.